answer, Lenny. So my final question is, how much do you think emergencies, disaster situation and the Australian public health sector, like family traumas, grief and loss, are a community responsibilities? And what are the barriers and benefit do you create for the families?
I think these areas must be community responsibilities because each of them affects children at a scale that families can't manage itself. In Australia, most common natural disasters are bushfires, floods, and storms. These affects children and families a lot. Actually, government and non-government services do provide essential support, and there are benefits like families get housing, financial and psychological help, but the barrier is that not all families know how to access these supports. Public health is another example. The Medicare card, introduced in 1984, provides universal access to needed healthcare. This benefits families, but the gap fee becomes a barrier when the doctor cost is higher than the rebate, right? So when it comes to the trauma and grief and loss in families, it can be unexpected death of a loved one or accident, maybe a pandemic like COVID. My idea is these events impact children's behavior, thinking, and emotional security. So, yes, families need broader community systems, not only individual coping is enough for these things.
Exactly, Lenny. What you're saying links directly to public policy levels, which are protective, preventive, and base level supports. When these works together, communities limit disadvantages and promote well-being. There's also a major ethical and economic style. Trauma and mental disasters affect workplace too. I'm not only talking about parent as teacher, about us too, not related, but donor research shows Australia losing 13 to 17 billion a year for mental ill health because it's caused less productivity commission. So yes, these issues are absolutely community responsibility because when the system fails, family observe the pressure alone. Sahani, do you have any question for Learning?
Yes. So I have one question, Uma. So Laini, how far do you think family violence, separation and work arrangements are community responsibilities? And also, what are the benefits and barriers for young children, do you think?
Family violence clearly requires community action, with I think 1 in 6 women and 1 in 19 men experiencing physical abuse. So I think families can't manage this risk since it's happening with themselves. So children can be traumatized even by hearing the violence, experiencing it sometimes. Even they get blamed saying, "You are the reason that your mom get punished." The benefit of the community responsibility is safety, early intervention, and breaking generational cycles. But the barrier is fear, stigma, and patchy services. For separation, AIF shows that only 30% of families go to court, usually those with a complex of unsafe circumstances. Most manage outside the court system, but children still rely on schools and communities to provide stability. Actually, community approaches benefit children through consistent routines and natural educators, but I think barrier is miscommunication between parents and the service. When it comes to the work arrangement, today some parents can request a flexible work if they are guardians, they are older, have disability, or experience family violence. That's a benefit because stable routines help children feel secure. But the barrier comes from casual, gig economy, shift workers, or maybe FIFO parents whose unpredictable hours affect children's routines, attendance, and emotional regulation.
You're right, Lenny. In social work, we see that separation and work pressure combine. Inconsistent routine increase children's anxiety, and parents under work stress have fewer emotional resource. Community responsibilities ensure families are not navigating these pressures alone.
Yes. And as a center manager, I see how these policies directly shape our daily work. Flexible work rights help families, but others face unpredictable schedules which affects drop-off, pickups, and children's behavior. So our role is to create consistency regardless of what's happening at home. So congratulations, Laini. You are now part of our preschool. So also, I want you to take care of the intergenerational care program because our center is beginning to explore partnership with nearby aged care home.
Intergenerational care brings older adults and preschooler children together, supporting both groups' well-being. Do you know international programs like Old People's Home for 4-year-olds show improvement in older adults, moods, mobility, and connection, and increase in children's empathy, sharing, and pro-social behaviors. Like these benefit is a stronger, more connected communities. The barrier is that these programs are still new in Australia and require planning, policy, and funding.